You're listening to the Surgeons of Horror podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Surgeons of Horror podcast. Its purpose is to dissect and discuss classic horror films, both old and new. And once again, Friday the 13th is dawning upon us, which can only mean one thing. Time to don the Jason mask and discuss the next chapter in the Friday the 13th franchise. And this case, we're eight. I can't believe we're 8 in. And this installment was called Jason Takes Manhattan. I should introduce myself. My name is Paul Farrell. I am the lead surgeon and host of the Surgeons of Horror podcast. Joining me as always for the Friday the 13th discussions is none other than Miles Davies. Welcome aboard, Miles.
Hello.
You ready to set aboard the cruise ship down into the Hudson?
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, I can't believe we're into the 8th installment of this. It's we've been cracking through a few of these, primarily because with the way that these have set up this year, but also this will be released on another Friday the 13th, July the 13th, which is Friday the 13th. So if you're listening,
quite a lot of Friday the 13th this year, it seems.
I think there's just the two. Seems like more than there is, but the thing is though, like as we discussed in our last installment, we were talking about Chapter 7, which was The New Blood, and Kane Hodder's first time donning the infamous Jason mask, as he does in this installment too.
Yes.
Comes back to reprise the role of Jason. That the previous film was actually celebrating 30 years this year, which is another reason why we particularly focused on that one. And for good or ill, the next installment will be Jason Lives, which is celebrating 25 years. So we will be talking about that one this year too. So we are churning through them quite thick and fast. Let's before we kind of talk about the plot, and I am going to kind of keep to the similar kind of pattern of things for those listeners out there who aren't familiar or those who are. With the Friday the 13th stuff, we're going to just kind of cut to the chase and go straight to the kills, because that's what drives these films on, and that's what we'll focus on.
So early on as well. So.
There's a couple early on, isn't there? So
that's right.
But what's interesting is the premise of this film. Okay, so it sets it up as, the title suggesting Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. Manhattan doesn't really appear until, I'd say, maybe even about an hour in, or maybe
I think it's about the last third of it. They don't actually land in I want to say Manhattan, but it really is Vancouver or somewhere like that. Considering every American actor that they meet has got a Canadian accent.
Absolutely. Oh God, yeah, that's right. There's only that. There's pretty much just Times Square. Essentially, is the bit where they they definitely shot it in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we'll come to when we get to that point. Interestingly, the director Rob Hedden actually kind of apologized. I think it was in one of the commentary. It may have been the box set release of the films when it came out. Kind of apologized for the illusion of it being Jason Takes Manhattan and very little Manhattan, because he said it was due to budget reasons that they weren't able to shoot as much as they were hoping to in New York.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. So that's the side of it. Another really interesting thing before we talk about the film itself was the promotion and the lead up to it, because Paramount Pictures, who were the company behind the film, actually this was their last time that it was under the Paramount Pictures umbrella before it went into what was it called? Is it Universal? I have to think what that is now. Yeah, anyway, it was definitely was the last time that Paramount Pictures did it. Oh, New Line Cinema, that's it.
Oh, that's right.
Because New Line Cinema took up the umbrella, and that's all the other films have fallen under that. So Paramount Pictures, as part of their promotion, they had the I Heart New York logo with a huge knife going through it. But the New York Tourism Committee put in a complaint saying it was a negative image of New York. So what then replaced it was the poster of that you see on the video covers with Jason looming over the New York City skyline instead. Yeah, so some kind of interesting things with that. And the last thing I'm going to just say as well, before we take this on, is that at the time of its release, it was considered to be the worst installment of Friday the 13th.
Yes.
I find that hard to believe, considering 5 was so ropey.
Yes.
But we'll see what our thoughts are when we come to the end of our discussions. Yeah. So let's set up the scene. So like where we last left off is that Jason is submerged at the bottom of the lake again. And just lo and behold, there is a houseboat that's coming along with a couple, Jim and Susie, and they're kind of getting a bit jiggy with it on the boat. So, doom and disaster is foreboding for those guys. And Jim starts telling about the legend of Jason Voorhees before he plays a prank on her with a hockey mask. And, we all know it's going to go downhill. I will add at this point that these two probably are the worst actors I've seen in quite some time.
Yes.
They are terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And there are some quite shocking actors in this team.
There are some shocking actors. And these two lead the way.
They're setting the bar quite low.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. But everything about it was terrible. And look, there is some titillation. Susie does get a kid off at the beginning of this film too. So it's trying to, I guess, hide behind the boobage. I guess, in order to kind of draw these young teenagers in who are hoping for some kind of great kind of sex scenes and stuff that Jason, by this point, had become famous for in the Friday the 13th films. Needless to say, these two... that's right, so I forget this. The boat's anchor happens to snag on some underwater cables, which... sends electric shocks pulses into Jason's corpse and reviving him once more.
That's right.
Just crowbar that. Yeah, exactly.
By any means necessary.
Or anchor bar that
as well.
Yeah. So, at least that was kind of cool and a bit of a nod to. To me, it was a nod to the Universal stuff from past.
Yeah, true.
Whereas this is just it's terrible.
Desperate grab.
Yeah. So
back.
That's right. So Jason then decides to climb on board this boat, and he finds the mask that the gym kid has been playing with, and that's when he then.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah, handy. So he can hide behind his disfigured face.
And I'm assuming there's a hardware store on top of the boat.
It just so happens. Funny you should say this, Miles. Just so happens that there's a harpoon gun on the boat. And he picks that up and he pails.
Because I know that whenever I go sort of on a lake somewhere.
Yeah. Always carry a harpoon gun. How else are you gonna catch wild fish?
Yes.
If you don't have your harpoon gun. It's just... There's
so many wild fish in lakes,
That's right. And that's the thing too. Okay, I'm going to be really ignorant here. I thought the purpose of a lake is that it's landmass surrounding... it's a mass of water surrounded by land.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
so
it is.
There's no way in or out, is there?
No.
Right. Okay. I thought so. I just for a moment I was like,
figured they did a Fitzcarraldo here, and they just carried the friggin' houseboat over the hill.
Jason just lumped it on his back and just like
and snail, up the hill with Werner Herzog in tow, pointing a gun at him, telling him to move.
He's just like, Jason's like, fuck this. I'm going to Manhattan.
Maybe Camp Crystal Lake was a complete and utter lie. It's not really a lake, after all. It was pretty much like a lake every time that we've seen it so far.
Yeah.
But who knew? It was part of an estuary in 20. into a large ocean.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
They just took the piss in this one, didn't they?
Oh, completely.
Threw logic out the window.
No, there's no logic in this film whatsoever. So look, yeah, Jason, he kills Jim basically with a harpoon gun. And then he impales Susie as well, who tries to hide from him. But yeah, he kills her.
Yeah.
Nicely dispatched. Yeah.
She was in a horror movie, so...
Yeah, she had it coming.
Got the kid off. She was in a horror movie.
That's right.
Enough said.
So then we get, like, I guess that's just the opening, I guess, to kind of highlight the fact that Jason's back on the scene. We then kind of are taken to what I guess is kind of a bit like a graduation.
Yeah.
It's from what I can make of it. And it's, there's a group of teenagers who are going to celebrate their graduation by going on a boat.
With their teachers.
With their teachers, yeah. Or one of them. Just one.
It's
one
just
teacher.
Like,
and a chaperone.
The one they hate the most.
The one they hate the most, that's it.
Because I know that's what they do up at schoolies, apparently, as well. Is that they take the teacher they hate the most.
That's it. You can go,
their
Jim.
schoolies week. Even after they've graduated, right? Because clearly they graduated.
Yeah, that's right. They've graduated, so it's like almost like they're.
Why would you take the teacher you hated the most? Surely you're free by now.
That's right, Mr. McCullough. You have to go. Look, no one else can do it. You're just gonna have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. They hate you. You might die at the end of it.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna here. And yeah. And here's the other teacher as well. They got the other teacher with the Stephen King pen.
Is there?
Yeah, I thought she was the girl's lesbian lover for a second.
I thought she was like a mum figure. I just thought. I
think she's supposed to be a teacher.
Okay. I didn't know that, but okay, cool.
I figured she was like this English teacher that had sort of adopted her under her wing, basically.
Sure. Okay.
And I thought they were having an affair, but like I just assumed that way because they were so sort of quite close to each other and huggy. And
true.
I don't usually get that way with my teachers.
It's interesting that you went in a sexual way, whereas I was looking at a more maternal way. But there you go.
That's the way I go every time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we have you on these podcasts, mate.
Yeah.
So what was the other interesting thing is that we only really see a small collection of these supposed graduates as well. Because the whole time I was just like, where the fuck is everyone else? Like
the rest of them went, that sounds like a lame trip.
Yeah, I ain't going on that.
Fucking going on it.
Yeah.
That just sounds idiotic. You're going away with the teacher we hate the most. No, we're going to Florida, mate. We're going to Disneyland.
I ain't going there. Fuck. So like so we kind of mentioned at the beginning that it's centered around mainly centered around a couple. So we have Rennie, who's the lead, the femme fatale lead heroine figure in this, and she's that has a bit of a love interest with Sean Robertson, who's the son of the captain of the ship, and he's got something to try and prove as well because he's seen as deadbeat, way to space. And the other
17 years old.
I know. They're so harsh.
Dad is a prick.
Oh, he's a prick. He deserves to die, I think.
And he's really, at the end of the day, he's a sailor on some shitty boat.
I know. Yeah.
Outside of some backwater town, basically.
Yeah.
So he's hardly, sailing the Titanic or, one of these massive cruisers.
That's right. Oh dear. Although you do hear about that, people get this kind of authority complex, over things that are very, very small and insignificant.
Yes, he certainly had that.
Yes. So, and the other thing I probably should just add about Rennie is that she has a fear of water, which kind of comes to light down the end of the track, but you do kind of think, why the fuck are you going on a boat if you're afraid of water?
Exactly. Like going on a holiday on a cruise.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of water, it's not usually something that I do.
Nah.
I'm afraid of bees, so I'm going to get an apiary.
Yeah.
I'm going to start beekeeping.
I'm going to start beekeeping. I'm going to confront my fear.
Yeah.
Head on.
Maybe she was.
I think so. So yeah, look, so we've got a bunch of teenagers. They're on this boat, and inevitably, as Jason somehow sneaks on board this ship, and why does he do that too? Like
he can go anywhere.
He just goes.
Why would he just jump on board a cruise ship with? It's not even a cruise ship. It's like a tugboat.
It is. Yeah. That's right. And he's like,
I'll just taking it for a ride. Life's a journey, man.
There is some weird choices with Jason in this film. I have to admit.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he does get on the boat, and his first victim is somebody that really did deserve to die, because she's her character's name is JJ.
Yeah.
And she's this wannabe rock star who...
She's a shocking guitarist.
Plays air guitar to her ghetto blaster.
But is she playing... No, I thought she was playing along with it.
Really? I thought she was miming.
I thought she had a backing track and she was just playing along.
Okay, I got that she was miming. Maybe she was so bad at pretending to play as an actress that she looked like she was miming.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought she was terrible. And she ends up going to the bottom of the boat because apparently that's got the best sound.
Yeah.
And that's where Jason finds her and he bashes her head in with her electric guitar.
Yay!
Death by stereo.
Yeah, so she dies. The next person that died, there's a bit of a... So we get this kind of... We're introduced to some of the other people. And a couple of girls are watching a boxing match, like a,
Oh, yeah.
fight off going on, and they definitely got their eye on the Caucasian kid, who's kind of showboating a little bit, and the African American boxer Julius is the one that's a bit headstrong, and he's the one that chooses the opportune moment when the other guy is trying to catch some eye from the girls to totally deck him to the ground, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the boxer, I don't think the boxer has a name. But he ends up going into the sauna. And that's when Jason finds him and he slams a load of hot sauna rocks on his chest and kills him.
It's an inventive way to kill someone. But
yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
Good. No.
But it was definitely made it worthwhile.
Yeah, for a different view of Jason. Oh, it's a definite new marksmanship for Jason. He's he's not his harpoon. It's not his machete. And he's grabbed some hot rocks. Yeah, as you do. Then we get so there's a bitchy character called Tamara, and interestingly, normally with the... Right, from memory, the Friday the 13th films tends to leave the bitchy characters to the end to get their comeuppance, but she's gets killed quite early on.
Yeah.
After she's
having a shower.
Yeah, she's having a shower. That's right. And after she's blackmailed said Dickie teacher by trying to kind of cavort with him in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And having the tech geek guy film it.
See, I thought they had something going anyway, because he kept saying, "How's your biology assignment?"
I know.
Every time he spoke, he sounded like he was speaking in double entendre. I swear, he was just like, "And how are you doing, lady?"
He was a bit like that.
I'm going to come and check your biology assignment later tonight.
No wonder she had mixed signals.
He was coming to check the biology assignment.
He was, and she delivered, man.
Yeah.
He was like, "What do you want? This is what you wanted."
And he went, "No, your biology assignment." Wink.
Yeah.
Not winking at me. It's a nervous twitch.
Twitch. Yeah. Oh, so good. Anyway, so
seriously, that guy just only ever spoke in double entendre. I swear, I thought I was watching some campy Carry On film. It just meant, maybe it was in Shakespeare.
Maybe that's what he thought. Maybe he misconfused. He just confused things. I thought that's what he was doing.
He thought he was actually going to get it on. He hadn't actually read further into the script. Yes. He's gone, I'll come and see your biology assignment. I thought, giddy up, I'm going to make it out with another younger actress. And then turned up and went, hang on a minute. You actually meant it?
That's right. And he was like, hold on, wait. Where's Kenneth Williams? I don't understand. Oh, Mason. Why are you saying that? I just thought I'd ad-lib,
But it was funny. This type of movie.
He was. He did I'm just looking at his credits. He did crop up in Dynasty for a little while, as well as a character called Andrew Laird, which kind of may say a lot about his acting prowess. He was
really awful.
He was in Naked Gun 2.5.
Yeah. I guarantee he was playing it straight as well.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's priceless. I didn't realise that. Oh, too good. Okay, so where are we up to? So, we just had... Tamara.
Yes.
In the shower, she's trying to hide in the bathroom when Jason breaks in and he stabs her with a shard of a broken mirror, which is a pretty nifty way of dispatching her, I thought. Awesome. Then we have to kind of get rid of a few of the adults on the scene, namely the people steering the ship.
Yeah.
So we get Jim Carlson. He's basically just gets harpooned in the back, at which point the Admiral, I said he was the captain, apparently he's the Admiral. Sean's father comes on board, comes up to the, what's it called, the poop deck? Anyway, the bit at the front where you drive the boat.
That's a poop deck.
I don't know what it's called. Anyway, the cabin.
The front cabin.
The front cabin. And that's where he discovers that his crewman is dead on the floor, and he tries to go and
his seamen have been stabbed in the front cabin. Sorry, man. I had to do the entendre there.
Yeah, you've been listening to Mr. McCulloch too much.
Yeah, I know.
At which point Jason comes from behind. Oi! And then he slits the Admiral's throat with a machete. Classic kill, Jason.
Yes.
Although I found the throat slit was a bit pathetic.
No, it was done weird sort of choppy slow motion with just a line appearing, and it was like
the line, which probably was the bit on the back of the machete.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty shit kill, that one, actually.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Then we get this scene. So Eva, who is like Tamara's sidekick, the other bitchy girl, is chased.
And coincidentally, the only one who actually made it after this film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was in the X-Men series. It's Kelly Hu, and she was in the Orville as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just took them. I'd never really followed that up. I was too busy,
Yeah, she's in 2 episodes of the Orville and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the TV series.
Yeah.
Arrow. She played China White in Arrow.
Oh, yeah.
Mortal Kombat. She was in the video game Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And what else is she in? Stack of things. Vampire Diaries.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
What Women Want. Yeah, and Terminator Salvation.
There you go.
But yeah, she was one of the main superheroes in the original X-Men, the X-Men 2 and...
from the Bryan Singer kind of era. Yeah, nice. I didn't know that. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether I should be so harsh on her now. No, I'm going to be harsh.
No, it was her first film.
Because
a lot better stuff than this.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't really her highlight, huh?
No.
So she, what's interesting here is that, what I found hilarious, I should say, with this is that she's running around, isn't she? She kind of finds Tamara's dead body, and then she's kind of like running around the ship and ends up in the party room, which is
that's right,
a disco ball. And she's doing this bit. I was actually crying with laughter with this bit. She kind of gets up on the dance floor, and then everywhere she looks, Jason's standing there.
Yeah,
like
he doesn't move that quickly. We've seen him move before, but he does it quite a lot in this film. He moves at a very high speed. Sometimes he's downstairs, and next thing you know, he's throwing a guy out of a window, a second-story window. So it defies logic.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing about that room is it's always on. And there's nobody in the party room.
There's nobody in there. No.
Why aren't they hanging out there permanently?
I know that, and case in point of where are these kids? They're just like not there.
And they've got this like disco room going off, and they're nowhere to be seen. They're off beating each other up and going into the basement and having showers and trying to get onto teachers and stuff.
I'm showing my age a little bit here, Miles, but I'm wondering if you can remember there was a British Yellow Pages ad in the 80s where there was a similar kind of thing where they're trying to set up a party. It's like the headmaster, and nobody's turned up, and it keeps cutting back to where all the kids are hanging out and actually having the party on a completely different location because the guy who organised it had Yellow Pages and was able to hook everything up. And there's a shot. The very last shot is of the headmaster kicking a balloon, going, "You never were very good, were you, Pilkington?" That's what it reminded me of. It's like Deadsville in there. Nobody's going to this place.
I know. They obviously the teacher organised a big discotheque. And,
that's right.
And nobody turned up. There was a mirror ball, lit dance floor. Everything that John Travolta would be all fucking over.
I know, and this reminded me of that. You see a lot of it on the T-shirts with the Jason doing the Saturday Night Live, Saturday Night Fever. Sorry, pose with a machete in the air. Yeah, and that's what I just kept thinking of. That I was like, at what point is Jason going to start busting some moves? Because this thing needs to pick up pace pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
You know why nobody was in there? There was only one room one door that could actually get in there. The rest of them were completely locked.
That's right. She couldn't get out. That's right.
All of the doors were locked except the one that she went into. It was like, why have a room that's going off for that, and then only have one door that opens? That's a fucking fire hazard, mate.
Yeah, that's it. They just don't think these things through, do they?
No.
Terrible.
I guarantee the Hacienda was closed down. A lot less than that.
Oh, dear. Anyway, had me chuckling. And anyway, at which point then Jason's last kind of little quick maneuver is to suddenly appear in front of her and strangle her to death.
Yeah, which is
there you go. Yeah, which is kind of cool. Yeah. The next person to get off is Wayne, the geek. Tech geek.
The camera guy,
who
discovers.
He discovers one of the dead bodies, doesn't he?
Is it JJ, the guitarist? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
down in the basement.
Yeah.
Basically just gets dispatched very quickly.
Yes, he basically just gets thrown onto a control panel and electrocuted.
Yeah.
And
that's off a chain of events that just completely changes the atmosphere.
Yeah, look, all the electric. It was already a pretty damp atmosphere. It's only going to get wetter from here. Because all the electronics go, oh my god,
on fire now.
Ship's going to sink, and there's nobody to put out the fire. Nobody can control the ship.
And where's the dog?
Where's the dog in all this? God, if only the dog could turn up.
I think the dog's already disappeared somewhere.
Yeah, he fucked up. He's like, I ain't sticking around. You guys are nuts.
He just keeps clearing off and then just coming back when everything's okay again. And he goes, oh, no, I'm going. You come and see me I'll come and find you again when you're all right.
That's right. And then we, that's right. We get one of the teenagers who decides to run. He tries to confront Jason, but he loses. I can't remember what he has in his hand as a weapon, but he loses it, and then he then decides to climb up the mast, only for then Jason to suddenly be right behind him again.
I know. How fast is this guy going?
Yeah, and then he just throws him off, killing him. Nice. One thing that I thought was kind of I don't know if this was a deliberate nod, but the next guy that dies is the deckhand, and he reminded me of Crazy Ralph from the originals.
Oh yeah, this is the guy that keeps walking around going, "You're doomed,
You're doomed." Doing his very best Fraser impression from Dad's Army.
We're all doomed. I thought he was the best character from there, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I have to admit.
From the very beginning, he just went, "This voyage is doomed, doomed." I'll see you on the ship.
Yeah, I'm going to come, though. I'm getting paid for this.
He does that.
Yeah. I'm here just to let you know the impending doom.
Doom. I'll be down below.
Yeah.
You need a hand.
Oh, dear.
You need extra sheets and some towels.
Yeah. I'll fluff up your pillows. There's a mint on every pillow, too. Just just a little nice touch.
Doomed,
I like to do.
Doomed mints.
And you're all dying. Yeah, love it. Anyway, so he dies when he gets an axe in the back.
Yes.
But at this point, they
all think it's him as well. So.
Dickhead teacher thinks it's him. Yeah, so it's a way of kind of you going, oh no, there's somebody else on board.
Yeah.
Now I can't. Oh, that's right. Then they escape, don't they, on the lifeboat, winching themselves down, and they can see Jason above them. Why doesn't Jason follow them then? Why can't he just quickly shimmy down and just kill him?
Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't. And then they believe they're back to safety, and they end up in what is presumed to be downtown Manhattan.
Yes.
Well,
when they pull up to the, I love it when they pull up to the docks.
Yeah.
And even the teacher's disappointed about where the kid has docked to. He's like, "What a terrible place you pulled us into! Like, you just survived a shipwreck, and you're complaining about the place that you docked into."
Yeah.
Were you hoping for the Buckingham Palace?
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed with you. We never ended up in the Buckingham Palace.
Yeah. You could have chosen a better spot. Where's the beach?
If I'm going to survive, I want to survive properly.
Yes. Here's the thing too. Maybe this is another reason why the New York traveling committee, whoever it was, weren't too happy with the promotion of New York in this film. Because this was going through the phase when New York had a real rough side to it. And it was interesting because during the 80s, New York actually featured a heck of a lot in films as well.
Yeah.
But it was quite renowned for having dodgy, and Central Park in particular, which we don't see here, was pretty renowned for being kind of a rough part of New York, and lots of crimes were happening. So it didn't have a very good image, anyway, is my point. So lo and behold, when they do, the survivors do kind of turn up, they get kind of ambushed by these two gangbangers, I guess. And they're and they basically kind of steal what jewelry they have and what money they have, and then they take the girl with them.
Yeah.
And then they basically pin her down, drug her. And, just when you think she's going to come a cropper, Jason comes and saves her. Yeah. It was nice. I thought it was a really nice thing for him, Jason.
It was nice.
Yeah. I was like, good on you, Jason.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why he would want to kill her after that.
No.
Maybe he was jealous. Maybe he wanted to have a go first.
Yeah, it's like, hold on. I saw her. I called shotgun.
I'm not fucking going sloppy seconds.
I called machete on that bitch. And then so I don't know why the other gang guy disappeared. Oh no, because he's just after the drugs or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he goes, I'll go and get something while you...
Yeah, while you do what you want to do. And then then we get quite a nice bit where the main gang guy just gets stabbed through the back with his own syringe. And then that's when just when Jason's about to... I was going to say all his wick. Before he's going to attack Rennie, the other dude then turns back up again and then tries to kill Jason.
Yeah.
But in doing so, he gets kind of scalded with a steam pipe.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's how Jason kills him. And that gives Rennie just the chance she needed to escape in her drug hallucinogenic state,
which lasted for about 5 seconds.
5 seconds, enough for her to get into a police car and kill her lesbian lover.
Yes.
But we will get to that in a sec.
Exactly.
Before that, we still have for some reason they decide to split up. The survivors split up, don't they, to go and find Rennie or get help.
Oh yeah.
It's like why? Anyway, but somehow Julius ends up on the rooftop of a building.
Yes, that's right.
Because that's where you're going to clearly get help.
Yeah.
And Jason kind of corners him up there. And
let's go.
And then we get probably one of the most hilarious kills we've ever seen in the Jason franchise series. Where Julius is trying to square off mano a mano.
And he's smacking some guy bare-fisted in the face who's got a hockey mask.
He's got a hockey mask.
What an idiot.
What
an absolute idiot.
And his knuckles are bleeding from...
Yeah. He's like, all right, give us your best shot.
Yeah. And Jason Julie obliges by clearing his head clean off.
Yes.
And it lands on the bonnet of the police car.
Yes.
Love it.
No, it lands in the bin. And
in the bin.
And then I think Jason put it into the car.
Oh, okay, that was it.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. That's right. Yeah, the bin closes. Of course it does.
It's like, enough set.
Yeah. You think, at that point you think, well, at least he cleans up after his dirty laundry.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, he goes back and grabs it again.
Picks it out and shoves it in the police car.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a trick.
We get and this is the bit where the cop turns up first, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And they all pile into the car for safety.
Yeah.
And the cop goes, "Hey, I'm just going to go check in this dark alley for a second." He doesn't do that.
Accent.
But yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go and see what this is about.
I'm going to see what it's about. And then he gets killed off screen. We don't see his death, but he gets killed off screen. And then Jason says, "I'll drive." But before they do, Rennie tries to get in the car, drives off, at which point she's still drugged up. She manages to run over Jason.
She's tripping balls and sees the ghost of the kid.
Oh, yeah, that's the weird bit too, isn't it? She starts that happened earlier on in the boat.
Yeah, and the dog keeps seeing it too.
Yeah, the dog's like, "Oh, I'm not taking drugs." Yeah.
What the fuck is a Scooby snack?
Yeah. Raggy roll. Okay, wrong film. So the Jason she keeps. It's meant to be a young Jason, though, isn't it? The kid.
Yeah.
Which is really, I don't know. It lost me at that point when she started doing that. I mean, it happened on the boat, but then this started happening again, and I'm just like, why is she? Is it? Were they trying to leverage off the previous movie when the Carrie versus Jason movie, with the telekinesis thing to kind of go, we want her to have this strange.
I thought so.
Powers.
Yeah.
Because what we do find out. Okay, no, I'm jumping ahead just a second. So just as she gets she tries to drive the car, crashes it headlong, and in doing so, the dickhead father, teacher, and the boyfriend manage to get themselves out, but the other woman doesn't.
No.
And the car blows up. At which point, Renee stares into a pool of oil, has a flashback of a quiet time she had with her dad on the lake, where he then forced her to swim by throwing her off into the water, where she nearly drowns.
Getting dragged under the water.
And getting dragged under the water by a young Jason. So...
And I don't know whether you're going to say the same thing as me, but
yeah, go on.
The timeline just does not make sense. There is no way in hell. She would have been about 11 years old. She looked about 11 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit younger, possibly 9, 10.
Yeah.
Now, you flash back, she's 17 in this. You flash back 6 to 7 years.
Yes.
Jason was fully formed and running about, killing people by that stage.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that he would be a young child at the bottom of the water.
Yeah, good point. Because this film, I haven't actually mentioned this, but the film came out, in 1989, wasn't it?
Yeah, the original film came out...
original one was 1981?
81? So
81.
8 years.
8 years.
Oh, well, he didn't really appear till the second one. So what was that?
Oh, yeah, 82, probably.
This is 89. 8.
We're talking about, it's roughly about 8 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
7 years.
She might have just scraped by, but I don't think by much.
No. It was a bit a bit loose. And at which point, because by the time 2 comes around, he's a man.
Yeah.
Jason's a man.
Yeah.
So I don't know when. That's a good point.
We're trying to put logic in this film. There is clearly no logic in this film at all.
How the crowbar logic in a film that lacks any resemblance of a plot. So I found that interesting. So that there's this weird kind of connection going on. I found. I don't know. What do you think about that? Like, did it feel like it was a tack on kind of?
It was just, as you said, it was crowbarred into that.
Yeah.
So it just felt like an very awkward moment. And it just, personally for me, the timeline didn't make sense.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, we're stalling because the next kill is the one that matters, and that's Dickhead Dad, who... Yeah, that's right. You kind of mentioned this a minute ago, but like where he runs into this warehouse trying to get away from Jason, only to get thrown out from the first floor window or second floor window by Jason. You're like, how the hell did you get up there, man?
I know. It was just like, I was like, are you serious? Really? He could move that fast?
He gets down quickly enough too. I reckon he's shinned down the drain pipe. And then, because then this death scene's just hilarious. Because he grabs him, turns him upside down, and basically sticks him head first into a barrel of sewage. Yeah. Where he drowns him. I thought that was such a great moment. It's so funny. So we're kind of left with the 2 survivors, aren't we?
Yeah.
And they are chased by Jason. They somehow end up on the streets. They get into a tube.
Yeah.
And they think they're okay. Then they see Jason as the train, the tube kind of starts leaving the station. They think they're safe. They see Jason through the window of
you forgot the
carriage.
Punk
what did I forget?
Teenagers as well. The punk teenagers whose stereo he knocked off. And they go, hey, man! And all he does is lift up his mask. That was the best bit of the whole thing. And they go, right. No worries, man.
Hey, you're cool. You're cool,
man.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that bit. That was the one iconic shot, wasn't it, of Times Square, just to go, no, we filmed this in New York. So yeah, you're right. So anyway, look, they're on the tube, and they see Jason in a neighboring carriage. This is the bit that really, if I was able to forgive any of the rest of it, which I pretty much wasn't, but if I was, this is the bit that got me the most, in that he decides to completely ignore everyone else on that train.
Yes.
To pursue these 2 kids.
Yes.
Now, if he was the Jason that we know and love,
He'd be having a field day.
He would be just like, hey,
it's like smorgasbord.
yeah. It's like going to town. How awesome would that be?
This is psychotic sizzler.
Yeah, if he just went fucking nuts on a tube train.
That would be awesome. That would be American Wealth for London, you know?
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Which essentially, that's essentially what he is. He's a monster.
Yeah.
A psychotic monster. So he should, by rights, have been going absolutely batshit crazy and just murdering people left, right, and centre.
Which he has done in previous films, like even the weaker ones. Like that's pretty much what he's done. He sees somebody and he goes, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," and he does. Here,
he didn't really have any weapons on him, so he was kind of just sort of wandering around, just throwing people and and finding whatever he could.
I don't know. Maybe that's why this one got dubbed the worst of the franchise at this point, because of that. Because I don't know.
None of it makes sense.
None of it makes sense. Yeah, true. But it did get me kind of going. That's not Jason. He would just go, hey, this is my kind of scene.
Here we are.
I'm
just going to keep going until they try and stop me.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so disappointing. But anyway, they get off the train. They make it stop?
They pull the cord or whatever,
and they jump out the back. Jason follows. They somehow get Jason onto the power lines.
He trips over and falls on the power lines.
Yeah, electrocuting him, and they think he's dead again. But did they not realize that it just gives him more power?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's just going to get up and go again.
Yeah,
and he does, and they end up somehow in like this kind of sanitation.
No, he says there's like toxic waste is going to flow through there any second.
Yeah,
I'm like, who flushes toxic waste out of a massive sewer that way?
New York,
and where is it going? Is it going into the oceans? That's not good.
Nah, it's dumb. It's the only way to get rid of that stuff.
That's not good for the environment.
What do you mean? It's the 80s. We don't give a shit about that.
True.
Yeah.
But
just get rid of it.
You know, this is like hydrochloric acid.
I know. You're just like, what the fuck?
Why are they pouring this shit into the ocean? And seriously, what is the actual tunnels made of that it's not melting to shithouse? Basically?
I know. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Because I've used hydrochloric acid and it melts metal.
Yeah. And it kills a lot of people too. Oh, so I hear. So here. It's okay. We're riding the non-logic train again, unfortunately.
But yeah, they bump into a guy who looks like John Carpenter. I swear
he does look like John Carpenter. This is true.
Yeah.
Maybe they actually had John Carpenter and he had to bow out for some reason. They were like, shit, we need somebody that looks like John Carpenter.
He read the script.
I'm
desperate, but not that desperate.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm still making good movies at this point.
Yeah, I'm still making Halloween 8.
But they just needed someone else to kill. Come on, let's face it.
Yeah, true.
At which point, Jason catches up with this sewage sanitation dude. And at that point, how did he kill him? Oh, he just bashes his head in, doesn't he? With a wrench. That's right. And so then Rennie and Sean are trying to escape, and their only way that they know how is to try and climb up this ladder, but it's locked. The exit's locked, and Jason's trying to chase after her. He grabs her by the ankle, so it's a full circle of Jason as a kid trying to pull her under the water. In this case, into the sewage that's then flowing through the toxic waste, and it kind of slowly disintegrates Jason.
Yes,
into
on its way out to a nice quiet beach somewhere.
Yeah. That's right, into just little bits of pulpy Jason.
Yes.
Flowing up next to, out into the Bahamas.
Yes.
Where people can get a dodgy Jason mask.
This one melted.
It's a melt. I don't want this one. It's broken. Mum, I want a new Jason mask. You're going to get what you find, love. I don't know why suddenly a Manchester lady cropped up on the scene. Anyway, so she's so look, they're left kind of hanging on this thing. Somehow, like you just kind of go.
Miraculously opens.
yeah, and they get out anyway. But then Rennie does get to see the kid again.
Because it melts away the whole of Jason, and suddenly it's just a young child lying there.
Baby Jason.
Yeah.
Which is odd, again. I found that really odd.
Weird.
Yeah. Really bizarre.
Just doesn't make sense either.
No, I'm just like, what? So, and then they kind of climb up and out into Times Square again. And, oh my God, the dog's alive.
Yeah, the dog comes out of nowhere and finds them because New York is such a small place.
Yeah.
And he was bound to find them.
He was trained by Lassie, in fairness. So he was always going to...
At that point, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding? Are you really
At that point,
kidding?
That point, you were saying that, right? Wow, you got quite far there, Mark.
I got that
far. Oh, too good. Look, and that was the climax of the film.
Yes.
Interestingly, the again, like the last one, and I think the one before it was meant to be the last one they would make of the Jason films. This one was pretty final in the sense that Jason disintegrated
and turned into a young boy.
Yeah. So kind of was weird that in the sense that, you know, it kind of did put the final nail in the coffin as far as you would think. And, you know, it got panned, like, by critics, really, really, really panned. I guess we'll cast our views on that in a second.
I must say, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, look, here's the thing. Like, I do agree that it's pretty woeful for a film. I think I was reading that Leonard Maltin did give it 2 out of 4 stars.
Oh, right.
He was probably one of the more positive reviewers of the time. He did kind of complain about the running time being too long. But that was kind of it. Most people did kind of really, really slate it, though.
Yeah.
So, it's gotten quite low marks from the approval ratings. If you look up on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't know where it stands now, but it's quite low as a guide. But here's the thing, like where they were saying it was the worst of the franchise so far, I still can't get past 5.
No.
Like, to me, that's still the worst one.
Children's Home, right?
That's the porno one,
Yeah.
To me, that's so bad.
Yeah.
And even though this one is pretty bad,
it ticked a lot of boxes.
Yeah. I'll put it this way: it's the worst of the Jason films that features Jason.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
That's where I'll leave that one, I think.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah. Which is a shame we've gotten this far in, because I think we were saying, like, you know, 4 was kind of interesting, 5 woeful, 6 kind of was at least going in a new direction and was kind of fun. Only the kind of,
and then 8 was just
Yeah.
This was the one that logic completely forgot.
Yeah.
Like even the rules of the horror film, it was completely blown out the window because none of the kids were that bad. None of the people that got killed were that bad. There was only really one of them that was taking drugs. So they didn't really break any of the slasher horror rules.
Cardinal sins, that's right.
So they all got offed. And it was like, they're not bad kids.
No.
And they're not bad people, so why did they get killed?
Come on, Jason.
You know, this is not a Friday the 13th. Usually,
where are your morals, Jason?
Yeah, I know. You're not sticking to the rules. This is the rules of the horror film. None of them had sex, and none of them took...
Apart from the two at the very beginning.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
But they can't... the rest of them couldn't pay for the sins of that couple that almost had
that's
sex.
just wrong, you know.
Yes.
It was a shame. It was pretty terrible. And then, I don't know. Is there any? I don't know where else to end with that one. Like, it pretty is. You know, it is pretty bad. It'd be interesting to see if other people think the same, because like with 5, there was a bit of a cult following with that one, despite the fact that, you know, I'm saying to me at this stage, sorry, excuse me. At this stage in our discussions, to me, it's the worst one so far. It has got a cult following, but as far as I know, this one, Manhattan, doesn't really have that much of a cult following.
Well, it's hardly surprising.
Yeah. It will, though. Jason will live to see another day, though.
Yes.
In Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
The final Friday. Or is it? We will talk about that one in another podcast, I feel.
Yes.
I kind of already mentioned we would, because it's going to be celebrating 25 years this year. Because it got released back in 93. I think we're on the same kind of path with this as far as our thoughts are concerned, in that, this is, Jason probably at its worst so far. And it's feeling like it's starting to get flushed down the toilet a little bit.
With toxic waste.
There's
obviously a reason why I've only seen this once. And I watched it. I rewatched it again on the train on the way in, way back from work today.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there going, I've only seen this once. There's a reason for this.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I know I'm the same. I've definitely only seen it once, and the only thing I really remembered of it, and I remember, like, before I stuck it on again to watch for the before we did the podcast, is just random scenes in Manhattan. And Jason shuffling around a bit, and I was just like, I don't really remember much else.
Yeah,
and obviously the boxer losing his head.
Yeah,
that was it. I was like, I can't remember anything else that happens, and I think there was a reason for that. But there you go. And on that really sour note, I think we're probably done on this podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think we've got much else to add to it. So without further ado, do stick around, because we will do the next installment. We'll go down to hell with Jason and see how he goes in the burning recesses of hell.
Yes.
But until then, I am, as always, your lead host for the Surgeons of Podcast, Paul Farrell, and joined once again by Miles Davies.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Surgeons of Horror Podcast. Music supplied by Peter Nezik. For more discussions or podcasts, head over to surgeonsofhorror.com or head over to our Facebook and Twitter sites for the latest news and updates.